Alright, so in a previous video, we discussed if the sneaker industry has collapsed, and since streetwear and sneakers go hand in hand, it's only right that we bring up the question, is streetwear officially dead? Over the past few years, the streetwear aesthetic has gained massive popularity and broken into mainstream fashion. You see this look being offered by all the big fashion brands, department stores, and even designer brands. On top of this, countless TikTok and Instagram brands have been popping up left and right and all offering a similar look. Streetwear fashion has become so oversaturated that even the big household names like Supreme, Bape, and Stussy no longer have any significant influence like they once had. It's like the old saying goes, too much of a good thing isn't always a good thing. So I gotta ask you guys, is streetwear now officially dead? Stay tuned to hear our thoughts. Woo, so are we on the verge of a streetwear collapse? Guys, we gotta answer this. This came from, just us being at SneakerCon recently, and I saw a shout out to Bring It Back LV. They were calling out all the boosts on all the Hellstar, Spider,
Fugazi.
Crazy that a vendor would actually put a booth out
with some
to
fakes.
sell fakes. I mean, I guess they're that good.
I'm tired of seeing this fake clothes at the convention. Just come pick me up.
Scan it. That fakes you'd be scanning nowadays. Scan. That's a fake website. Yes, it's going to take you to the Hellstar thing, but the real one after Hellstar is a period, a dot. Look at all this. All fake.
But
That's some nerd,
to
man.
have a full size run of things that have come out in the past,
Yeah.
that are supposed to be limited,
Yeah.
I mean, that's just a red
It
flag
goes
right there.
to show you though now with streetwear, if it is getting to that point, that means something is happening where people are taking advantage of the market, people,
Yeah.
wanting this product that bad. Are we on the collapse or are we on the peak? Because if people are faking it, that means people are buying it. You know what I mean?
That's a good question. I'm kind of like caught in between, but I feel like once things are becoming more and more faked or being remade, I feel like that's when you're at the verge of a collapse of a special thing. Whether it's fashion or what, we just happen to be talking about streetwear per se.
Just
right?
like shoes, right?
Just
when
like shoes.
people started to kind of be okay with buying fakes and replicas,
Yeah.
or B grades, or whatever you want to call them, they started not spending the dollars towards the legit, ones that actually go for the market price. Looks the same. No one's gonna know. I just want the aesthetic of the product.
That's the word.
Clothing is almost easy to do.
Same. I don't even know half the time because Richie, I feel like you're really big on texture. You're very big on the quality of how something feels like.
Details.
And I feel like a lot of people, the majority of people, they just want that look.
They just want the
I
look.
definitely fall into that majority where it's like, I don't
Yeah.
really care about the highest end stuff because I know I'm going to wear and tear it anyways.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like, I'd rather just get stuff that's either affordable or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like streetwear right now is just, there's just so much. Like, it's like slapping our faces like every day. There's like a new brand out that's supposed to be hot, you know?
Yeah, there's a lot of it right now, and I feel like if there's gonna be resale in it, that means that the fakes are gonna work. But kind of like what you were saying is when the sneakers did have crazy resale, that's when all the replicas were insane.
Bingo.
I think it'll get to a point where streetwear doesn't have that resale value anymore, and that's when we're not gonna see the fakes at the sneaker. You don't see as many fake sneakers now because you could get them for retail pretty much. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that's what will happen with streetwear and all of that.
I feel like that naturally kind of like filtered out more fakes. Like us not buying as many shoes is like, oh, we naturally just kind of filtered out the fake manufacturers that are making it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but when people are paying $1,000 for some off-whites, of course the fake manufacturers like, we got to capitalize on this.
We'll sell it for $500.
Yeah.
You know?
Another thing that I noticed too is the saturation of streetwear brands.
Yeah.
Everybody in their mamas has a brand nowadays.
Yeah.
Are we on? Is it gonna get back to where you just see the juggernauts? Like
TikTok
a few
brands.
years ago,
TikTok
literally
brands.
it was just Bape and Supreme.
Yeah.
Now it's like everybody has a brand. Do we like this, or do we feel like it's gonna sizzle out and people are gonna find their own thing and have drink companies and restaurant? I don't know what is the new.
I personally like it.
Yeah.
I like it because I'm not into denim tears. I'm not into Spider and all that. But
There's
there
gonna be
are
something you
other
like, yeah.
brands that more so catch my eye.
Yeah.
So if it catches my eye, it doesn't. Does a brand really matter, right?
Okay.
So for me, like all these brands, like TikTok brands, what we kind of call them, right?
Okay.
They do have a great tool in TikTok to where their ideas can just boom. So it doesn't really matter how long they've been around.
It's more so getting to the attention of the consumer.
Yeah, exactly.
If
so
it's hot, it's gonna do
I like
well
it.
on TikTok.
I don't mind it.
I thought it was insane how when we were at SneakerCon, there were literally blank companies with their own booths selling their blanks as like the blank company thing is that's saturated like crazy.
Insane.
So you know what?
They're their own brand now.
Yeah. So you know what this tells me? That everyone's using the same formula.
Yeah.
Right?
Buy the blanks.
Same formula.
Throw your thing on it.
You know, if a different shade of
periwinkle
of color that this other blanks brand does not offer, we offer that. Or a better cut, you know, so.
I would say what I'm, you know, just talking with you guys and discussing all this, one thing that I've realized is the special moments with a streetwear piece are gone.
That's
the
a good
moment
point.
that like a box logo had, that was a huge moment where, remember when it dropped that winter
or even,
with the peach and the sage, how bad we wanted that for months? That is no longer a thing. Like no one's gonna, I have to have this for months.
Would
it's like,
you say that was peak streetwear time?
Oh, yeah.
Oh my goodness, I could cry right now.
Banging on my chest?
I miss
that was after.
Oh, yeah, that was crazy.
The fact that those hoodies, those box logos, the peach ones were leaked months before, and
Like
we
the
were
photos?
and we still cared about it when it dropped.
The photos.
The photos,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Nowadays, the attention span with these younger kids,
attention
it's
span's
like,
good,
bruh, we don't even care about what was hyped like last week.
They're
Like, we're gonna move
calling-
on to something different.
Yeah.
They're
the
calling
next
this
month.
the microwave era. You know, I always bring up this
Wow.
analogy, the microwave era, quick, but not as quality.
Let's-
Back then, it was like slow roast, you know, nice pot roast on the stove. Things had a moment.
get-
Music, you know, albums
In
had.
this microwave era, right? Will we take air fryer-esque quality now? Like, will we take air fryer? You know, not necessarily microwave, but a little crispy.
Bro, it's
to it.
like
That's a good
I
compromise.
used to love being teased. Now the
That's
teasers are
that's
the
a bar.
drops.
That's a bar.
Huh?
That's just a nice bar.
Like
I used to love being teased.
I used to love being teased.
Can
and I
we
would
just
not
apply
grown
that?
up.
Just make that its own clip on a
I
reel.
used to love being teased.
But
I used to love being teased.
now the first time you see the product is when they drop it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Like
I
the
just think that's
CPFM
crazy.
stuff, I didn't know about it till weeks after it dropped. I'm like, this would have been an insane complex, like a few
Yeah.
years ago, would have
That's
been
just
an
not how it works
insane
anymore.
release. You know what I
Well,
mean?
even RLC, something that we've learned, we used to do our lookbook preview drops 2 weeks before the drop date. We're like, the attention span is we're dragging it out. We might as well just do it like a week and
Be
a half at
available
most.
when it announces.
Yeah, so
People want the thing then, there, and now. They're not anticipating anything. Like
there's just
literally,
too many things in between that just drop. So
especially with music. Music nowadays, like there's no anticipation for an album. It's just already out by the time you even like the song.
yeah,
Man, the give and take about what you guys are talking about is crazy because the saturation is almost kind of helping people get successful as well too, right?
Very
Like,
true.
It's
even
quick,
though
yeah.
there's a lot of music out there, you're gonna have a cult following for certain artists that you've never heard of before. And I feel like that's kind of like how streetwear is at right now. There's cult followings for certain streetwear brands that you may not know about, but they have like 10,000 followers or something like that. you
I
know?
like, that's why this line from Drake always stood out to me. I was on top when that meant a lot.
Yeah.
When that ish meant a lot is like he came up in a time where you have to go more of this like traditional, harder route. Rather now it's just quick pop off on TikTok.
Well, there's no
and-
blueprint.
Yeah. And like I feel like that's kind of the situation now with like clothing and everything. Like these brands have this hot moment, but you don't know how long it'll last because of people's attention span is so quick. I might be on that for like this week, but it could literally be. That's why I really do appreciate RLC and like the longevity that we've been able to have is like people are down, like the returning customer rate and everything just. It doesn't feel like just in the moment people are wanting it, you know.
As a
that's what
customer,
shout out to you guys. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure.
As a customer, sometimes, you know, obviously you guys hook it up a lot. As a customer, sometimes it's very nice to see the improvement, though. Like, I think the reason why people return is because you guys give us better quality every single time. And I think if brands don't continue to do that, especially if you're a newer brand, it's going to be very hard. Just my own personal experience. I tried to come out with a streetwear brand. You guys remember when I came out with it? 100% flop. Like, it was, I got to tell you guys how, even being around two very
Can
successful...
we bring up the funny
Bring it up, bro. Bring it up.
the
Just tell the
shop-
story real
All right,
quick.
a little light. It was getting a little serious, but man, it was
Yeah, go ahead.
the hilarious. You know, man, Johnny. Shout out to Johnny. He's quick to poke fun of himself and you know laugh at the moment. It was our grand opening of the store. Obviously, we got to be on camera, show this, you know, show face a little bit. He was like, man, I ain't gonna lie, all day I'm over here on camera smiling, but deep down I'm hurting. I'm like, why? He's like, my drop was today. He thought the Shopify app was broken, literally, because he's refreshing that thing.
And there was just not
Ain't
as
that
many
coming
orders.
up? He was like, bro, I thought the app was broken.
Not as many orders as you.
Yeah.
How many did you hit?
I
Zero?
don't even want to talk about it, bro. Just not nearly enough to break even. Let's just say that. Not
Okay.
nearly enough to even break even, right? And this is like one of those vulnerable moments that I'd love to share about because this is reality, guys. Like, just because you see your peers and people out there doing things that make it look very, very easy and it's very attainable to jump on, it's not. You have to put in a lot of work. There's a lot of thought that goes into it, a lot of details, a lot of back-end things that you didn't even think that you would have to think of, right? And I think right now, that's why when I do see the successful streetwear brands, I'm very excited for them because there's a lot of potential there.
Yeah.
But the hard part is, I think, is going to come soon.
Sustaining.
Where it's going to be filtering them out. You know,
Yeah.
everybody's going to get filtered out soon.
Sustainability is huge, and like the longevity is huge of streetwear brands. And what would you say would help a street, if you're like, say you're a new streetwear brand and you just popped off with a nice collection and everything, what is one thing you think would do well for the longevity?
Man,
I should ask you that.
I was gonna say, rolling out the collection, the campaign is people want to feel the story behind
You do amazing with that, by
the
the way.
collection and all that. Like, there are, brands out there that have done great jobs at that, and then they've become an agency themselves and helping other brands kind of, at the end of the day, they probably crack the code and they're like, you know what, we could do this for other brands.
Speaking of like rollouts too and quality, I think people really did appreciate Nigel's for his fours.
Yeah.
Little short film.
It was almost like, short film, got to know his grandma, his uproots, and bringing up. People think.
You know what it is about that, though, Rich, just going off of what you're saying? There's authenticity to that.
Yeah.
Like, we were joking about, oh, is this even the real house or whatever?
Yeah.
But the story's authentic.
Yep.
Right? And I think
The color
A
of
lot
the
of
house
these-
to the colorway of the shoes.
yeah, and I feel like a lot of these brands nowadays is the authenticity and the integrity of streetwear being taken away nowadays, and it's just more trends, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's why our the drop that we did from the Northwest for Tribute did really well, because that was super authentic to where we're from. We were
Bingo.
on our literally backyard beach. You know, like it gave that Northwest vibe that people really resonated with.
Oh, yeah.
That drop did super well.
Yeah.
And I think that's why
Not
it's because that's literally showing where we're
It's
from.
organic to where you
The
guys
trees
are,
and
right?
Well, even
the-
the heavyweights one we did with the Kobe drop, how there's so many little Easter eggs, and if you're a true Kobe fanatic, you just understand exactly why the model was wearing pajama shorts and yellow shorts over it. You know what I'm saying?
Do you guys see yourselves eventually moving towards that direction? Because you guys have been in the game for a long time, especially you, Tan. You've been in the
we
game
got a
for
lot.
long
We got a
time.
lot on our plate, man. But we've had friends.
Yeah.
We've helped friends kind of help them kind of launch their leverage over here. Like, there's not
Tired.
much more I can take
Tired.
on.
Tired.
You know. But no, there's a reason. There's a certain aesthetic out there.
Yeah.
And you could. ALD and Kith, they're kind of under the same umbrella. You kind of see the aesthetics pretty much similar.
I think,
Yeah.
you nailed it as far as like, despite people thinking they want the quick releases, it's still giving them that nice rollout.
Yeah.
Because you know that they're going to appreciate whether they're looking at it as long as they used to or not. I don't think they're looking at it as detailed as they used to.
Yeah.
But they still can feel the work that went into the
Yeah.
piece,
Yeah.
the RLC rollout campaign.
Yep.
And I think that's what will convert them to the sales.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
do I think they're like anticipating and really studying the drop like they used to? I don't think so, but still giving them like a piece of that quality.
It's
I think
fun.
what I've really taken away from this video is, despite the fast movement of streetwear and everything that we see right now, the quality is still going to be appreciated if you
Yeah.
put it in amongst the right crowd.
And how you
amongst-
translate it.
Yeah,
And
how you translate it. But yeah, man, just wanted to have a discussion about
Yeah.
streetwear. We
That
did
was a
this
good
for
one.
sneakers, and I thought this was dope.
I think the health of the clothing world is a lot better than shoes. I'll say that.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though it's a collapse, if it feels like it's a collapse or
Overall.
a peak, I think overall,
Yeah.
it is somewhat better than sneakers right now.
For sure. Like, I'm excited to see where it goes and how people kind of pivot with streetwear right now. Like, SneakerCon, you see like half clothing.
I mean,
now.
when you think about shoes, like, it can only go on your foot, right? Clothing, you can have pants, you can have shorts,
True,
you can
true,
have shirts, whatever.
All right, guys, that's pretty much it. Shout out Johnny, shout out Tan. Let us know what you guys think. Do you guys think streetwear is dead? Are people moving on to different styles and whatnot? Or is it just getting started as far as the popularity goes and all these other brands? And do you like where it's at right now? Let us know in the comments down below. If you guys have not done so, make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. Hit the like for that algorithm. And until next time, we out.
Peace!